good. They are good. And I would be the last person to say they are not good, because many of the things even today you are seeing, they have been outcome of the waterfall sequential SDLC. But then, as I explained, the knowledge work, this requires a different kind of methods. The the current or the previous method, the sequential method, are not good enough to continue provide the best of services or best of outcome for the knowledge work. So that we can conclude. And if there are any questions on this conclusion, this agreement, please, we can debate on this. Okay, so this about little bit history and try to concept why at all we need a newer method. Why could not we work with the similar method? Okay. In the next module, we will talk about very quickly. I'm not going to take too much time to discuss the software SDLC and its challenges, but just to make sure so that we can have the uh, context and you also revise and why there is a challenge. Okay. So let's talk about the traditional SDLC, which is waterfall model. I am sure that this particular figure, either in this format or in other format, everybody has seen it. Anybody who is looking for any kind of discussion or questions, anything which is not clear in this model. What it tells that you need to have the requirement, you develop the design, you develop, then you test, deploy, and maintenance. Now, this is the same things we are happening in industry, the same things we are doing in software. You know, you need to build a house. You know that I need to build a 3-room house, 3-bedroom and one house. Then you design on the paper, you design the structural design and the architectural design. Then you develop, basically you go test. Basically here the test is basically you review basically here. That is the test, customer is satisfied. He is happy with the construction quality as the design was laid out on the paper that is being there. Deployment, you basically actually end user start living. And if there are any then problem, water tap is not working, a paint is not there, there is some drainage issue, then you maintain. Similarly, in software industry, you have the requirement, you design, you start coding, then you test, then you deploy, then you get the defect, you maintain. That is the same model. Okay, so the same model has been transferred to the next thing. What we did, we create a sequential SDLC, and this is interesting. You have many of you have seen it. So this is how we convert in security. We do the requirements, we do the analysis, we do the design or analysis or design. Sometimes you see in one picture. Build is nothing but development, test, and rollout, which is nothing but the deployment. Now, suppose you have a project 120 days. You start on the day one. You know I need to develop a software. Okay, this is very interesting. Just try to understand a little bit what you get at the end of the requirement. At the end of the requirement, suppose on day 10, you only get the documents. Okay, you have bunch of documents where requirements are listed. You do the analysis and design, and what you get more documents where on the papers everything is written. At the end of the build, when the coding is done, you get more documents in the form of the code line of the code. Okay, you get more and more documents, but in the form of line of the code. In test, when you do test, you get more and more document test results, test report, defect reports, no defects. Until from here to here, what is the value? What is the end user are getting? End user is actually still waiting till this phase. He's still waiting that, okay, I need to see my software working. He only start getting the value when you start doing the rollout. Here is he is getting the value, okay, software is working or not. And maybe then by the 3 months time or 4 months time, requirement has changed. Something is changed in the industry. Something is changed in the world. And the kind of dynamic world we are in, things are changing and other competition comes, something else comes, regulatory requirement comes. So this is the problem with I will talk about detail little bit later, but this is the basic problem with the sequential SDLC, that from the day one to many days. Okay. The only outcome is documentation or something which customer cannot use. The real outcome, real product, real services only came at the very fag end of the project. Okay. So, and at that point of time, customer first time visualize its product, its software, and then he said, this is not something which is in my mind. Okay. So this is the challenge, basic challenge. Any questions on the sequential SDLC and its challenges? Or do you guys agree to this, the hypothesis which I am putting on the paper?
Yes, sir.
Mayuresh, Anand, Shalini, Sagar,
Yes, sir.
Anuradh, anything?
Yes, in this
Any question?
waterfall
Yes,
model,
yes.
mainly once we fix the requirement, we can't change up to rolled out. Main
Yeah.
the issue is waterfall model is this.
Even if you change, what you will get? You get more document, change request.
Mm. Yes,
Even if you change, you get the more documents. So you can keep getting the documents.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
So okay, so now I talk about the uh, challenges with the traditional approach, which is SDLC, waterfall or sequential SDLC, whatever you call. Late realization, this I just explained. Okay. Surprises at the end because customers see the software and that may not be in his mind. Misinterpretation of the requirement, and this is a very I will maybe tomorrow I will talk about this, that what I talk about the misinterpretation of the requirement. uh, okay. We will talk about tomorrow because that is the plan to discuss tomorrow in detail. So we will talk tomorrow. Lacks acceptability, more post-production defect. In this case, what happened? Customer will first time see the requirement only after 120 days or whenever the rollout happen. And then he will say, no, this is not something I am looking, more change request, most defect, and lots of waste. Basically, what is the waste here in this process? Can anyone not say? What is the waste in this process?
We cannot change in between, and we cannot adopt the software record as per the changes.
Yes. So no change, inspect and adapt. So basically that is your thing. I'm saying, what is the meaning of lots of waste basically?
Your time.
Time
Yeah.
efforts.
Time.
So we generate too many things in this process which are not the real requirements. So basically documentation, defect, change requests, they are called. I will talk about the lean, maybe not in this training schedule. At some point of time, we will talk about the lean and seven waste. There are 7 kind of waste which we produce in this cycle. So we are talking about this change request, too many requirements, uh, uh, review comments, defects, all these are weights. Basically, we can actually get it off that. No visibility to team. So team is even the people who are working, whoever is writing the requirement, BAs or product or BAs basically writing the requirement. They need to wait for 120 days or if 120 days product to see whatever they have written, how this is looking into. So there is no visibility to them. They are writing blindly, basically. They are writing something and they have no idea how this will look at the end of the day. Okay. No visibility to the customer. Customer is also just waiting and he's only getting the document. He is not getting the real thing. He cannot provide the feedback based on the uh, something working software or working product. Lots of uncertainty because from day 1 to day 120, I'm talking about why I'm saying 120 because here I took the example of day 120. Okay. So day 1 to day 120, basically there is lots of uncertainty. There is anxiety. We don't know whether customer will like it or not, what the customer mind is changing. What if customer say this? What if customer do not say this? So these are many challenges in the traditional approach.
Yeah.
Um, do
Part
you
of this, I
agree?
would
Yeah,
like
go
to
ahead.
add one. But see,
Yeah.
but while doing all those things, we have some processes in place, means reviews and all those things in analysis. What when we do the reviews, what are the defect we observe, we uh, in implementation and also we correct out those things, and then we go to the design.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is all. That's why I'm saying
yeah,
that. But
it's a process.
at
Yeah,
the end of the day, this is the process, and this is basically
mm,
lots of time consuming in the producing the document, review, comment, defects, design review. All this is documentation. No matter how good design review you do, but here your customer will say, "Okay, I'm not liking this product. This is not what I was expecting," and that's the real challenge, basically. And I'm not saying this okay, I'm the last person who will say SDLC is the wrong thing. We are, even today, you are using the OS or anything. Uh, great product has been produced using SDLC. But these are the challenges. So at the same time, not saying that is a bad approach, but I'm saying that is a good approach. But these are the challenges. Okay, any questions on these challenges? Anybody disagree with these challenges or would like to add some any other challenges? There are many more, but I just focus on these.
So,
Okay.
Paras,
Mhm.
one point just I will
Mhm.
add in terms of testing. So in this one, actually, the testing comes at the end.
Yep.
So so we get the product only at the end for the testing. So now we can relate like how we are working and how the things will be in this waterfall.
Yep.
Maybe with the LS project. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you, Raju. Okay, so this I would now like to okay, we still have 25 minutes. Okay, uh, so there are two concepts. I'm still not talking about agile. I'm still not talking about. I'm still establishing that there is a knowledge kind of work and why knowledge work facing challenges with SDLC, with sequential SDLC. I'm just establishing, I'm just trying to create the dots in your mind. So when I talk about the Scrum and Agile, you try to connect these dots. And when Agile, you actually do not speak something which you cram. I just want to you understand why, what was the need of Agile and why it is need of the hour and why we need to adopt the Agile mindset. So that's why I'm taking time to, and I'm spending more and more time in this because this is very important to understand. Otherwise, when you speak, people will able to understand that your heart is not there. Okay, so that's why I'm spending time. Why knowledge work and all. Now we will talk about two concepts. One is incremental and one is iterative. Anybody can tell me something about? Uh, okay, first of all, anybody can define what is the difference between increment and iterating a concept. What does it mean? Plain English. Talk about the plain. Forget about the concept. What is the meaning of increment? Anyone? Sujata?
Like incrementing is like adding a step in each like each time, and the iteration is doing the same thing again and again.
So increment, I guess you took it correctly. It's basically adding more value, or basically if you are building a ladder, you are adding one block after another. Iterating may not be the same thing. Iterating, repeating, basically. Repetition is the iteration. Okay. You may try to do the same work in differently, but you are iterating the work. Okay. Same, if you do the same, then there is no value you are generating. Okay. For example, if you are going from your home to office, okay, the incrementing approach is that you come from home, you go to, if I define this to incremental, sorry, you walk down to your house, you that is one step. The second, you take auto. Second step, you reach to office buildings. Third step, you take the lift. That is fourth step, and you go to the your office. That is five steps. So this is the five step. You increment. You add the one step, and that's how you achieve the goal. Iterating, when I talk about, you took this route, you came down, you walked towards the office, that is one way. Next time you took the bike, next time you took the auto, next time you took the car. And with this iteration, you figure it out what is the best way to reach office. Okay. So that's how basically, let's discuss a little bit. Okay. So this is a person, okay, and incremental approach. I'm talking a little bit about the incremental. He has a fully only incremental approach will only work when the customer or the person has a fully developed image of service or product what he's looking for. For example, Satvik has a fully understood that today morning he needs to go office. Okay. He is fully aware. Then only he can think about in steps. Okay, I need to go down. I will take a auto. I will go to Marigold. I will take the lift and I will reach office. These are the four steps I need to do. So Satvik has a full idea what he wants to achieve. That is only when your incremental only approach will work. So customer has a fully formed idea of what they need. In this figure, this person has a fully formed image that what he's looking, and that's how he's now building this portrait. So, and this is basically you are building a finished piece or a service, whatever. So you need to have a fully developed idea of service or product which you are looking for. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about the iterative. Iterative different. Satvik has the idea I need to go somewhere today morning. He is not even sure he needs to go to office or not. Okay. But ultimately the goal that he needs to go somewhere. Then he will start doing he will start doing the contemplating the idea what, so he's refining, okay, today is Saturday, I have two things to do. I can go to office and I can finish my work, or I will go to leisure. Okay, so basically he's contemplating the idea and then he do the iteration and figure it out what he wants to do. For example, here is, if you see this picture, he is looking a portrait which he want to do it. So first time he doesn't know how to do it. Second time he built something, he did not like it. Third time, uh, I am sure Mona Lisa painting was not developed in for three times. It may need many revisions, but just for the time and for this training purposes, we saw the three step. So it is something where and our customer is not sure what he is trying to build. Okay, and uh, he took the chances and he works towards for a finished product. Uh, for example, if you say small childs who are start thinking and you give them the block and they don't know what they are trying to build. Okay, so they try and they create some structure which fell down. They do again and they try, and after a couple of tries, this are able to make the structure which is their portrait in the picture of that particular toolbox. So that is basically kind of idea because child cannot visualize fully what he needs to build. So that is how basically the iteration work. Am I able to define this iteration to you guys or not? Or maybe the painters, basically, if you see the creative, maybe a director, he wants to shoot a particular scene in a particular way. He shoot first times, but he was not able to, he's not liking it. He's shooted again, he is not liking it. He again tried to do another round. And maybe after multiple round, if you see the director's interview on YouTube or you see, they see this particular scene took 7 cuts or 100 cuts. Have you heard these kind of interviews or not? There is a book, Old Men and the Sea. It is only 30-40 page book. Have anybody hear about that book?
Yes, Paras.
Yes, that is the book. I forget the author of that book. He wrote around 100 plus draft of that book, 30-40 page, 100 plus drafts. And after that, this book got that author got the Nobel Prize because of that book. That's the iteration. He was not sure that how to bring his idea to the table or to the book so that people can basically appreciate that work. So this 40-page book bring him to the Nobel Prize, and he write more than 100 drafts for that book. So this is the iterative approach. When your ideas are, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, iterative, you can say like repeating the same process again and again.
Until unless you reached out to the finished product.
Right.
And when you do it, when you are not having a clear idea, what are you looking for?
Okay.
So for example, if you are building a car, the first time the very first person who is trying, so for example, if you, I'm sure everybody read the story about the Wright brothers, okay, who was the father of the aviation industry. Okay, everybody, some either in school they read, and they were first trying to do the glider. Okay, and how many they were even not sure that how they can fly. So they did so many takes, and that is the iterative steps, iterative process. When you do not know what actually you are doing, you just have a goal or mission or something visualization, and then you try to achieve that. That is the iterative approach. Okay. Now, the agile combines incremental and iterative. So if you understand this iterative and increment both. Now, the problem is that most of the knowledge work we are doing, most of the times we do not have the clear idea. And even in your project, when you are looking at the user stories and you are going in your refinement meetings or sprint planning meetings or PI planning, you realize that user stories are not well defined. Is that the case or not? Or every time you see the well-defined user story or well-defined requirements?
No, Paras.
Uh, is everybody agree or somebody is saying that he is getting every time well-defined?
Sometimes it happens, but many times it doesn't happen.
So what is the approach we take? We do not have a fully developed view. So to develop that particular software and service, what we are doing, we are adding one step after another step, one user story after another user story. And at the same time, sometimes we repeat as well. For example, you are developing an app, your first page, the splash page. You develop 7 splash page and customer is not liking anything. Or the user flow, maybe airline booking flow. You develop 7 kind of flows. This is how we can blow, and multiple iteration you need to do to figure it out what is the most optimized way to for the booking flow. Okay, so that's how basically. So what Agile brings on the table in the sequential, if I go back in this particular process, where is the scope of iteration? And where is the scope of incremental? So incremental scope, okay, sorry. You have a scope of increment, you can add requirements ideally until here. You can add requirements. Then you can analysis and you can add your all the analysis result until here. And we are doing about the incremental. You can add design, you can add code, one module, another module, third module. So you have increment, scope of increment within a phase, you can increment towards that. What is the scope of iteration? And if you need to iterate, you need to again need to way back. If you start iterating here, from where you need to start and requirement. And that's what we remember. Traceability metrics, create a traceability matrix. You get a defect, which requirement this defect has come. Review that requirement. You remember those days? Anybody, Anurudh, Praveen, Raju? Those who's Mayuresh, traceability metrics, Sunay?
Yes, traceability matrix
Yes,
is
yes.
mapping the
So
We
what we
just
do?
have we just have to map requirement with
test cases.
defect. Yes,
So
right.
what is that? So what happens? You find a defect here and you need to go back here. And such a long iteration you need to do. So what Agile does, Agile basically combines incremental and iterative approach of work. So what it says, okay, you are a customer, you need to build a software, but you are not fully sure that what is your customer require, what is your requirement. No problem. You have some idea. Okay, tell us some idea. Okay, what as a developer team you did, you based on some idea, you create first draft, go back to customer. Okay, I have created this. Oh, okay. No. This was not my idea. I need to change this in some manner. Okay, tell me, but I'm still not sure what I am looking for. Okay, so he also gives some idea. Then you come back and you change it. After 3-4 iterations, he said, yes, this is something which this is the right way to progress. Okay, but this opportunity you do not get here. Here you do not get this opportunity because customer will only see something working here. Here all he sees the documentation. Make sense?
Yes.
So in this picture, if you see, and this is a blog where I will send you this document, you can basically read more about this increment and iterative. So customer has the idea that he need to build the approach by a portrait. So painter came with certain aspect. He said, no, let's put it this way. Then he first refined this. Then he put this way, hand and all color. Then something happens and the screens and all, and then color. So multiple iteration happening at the same time. The increment is happening. What is the increment from here to here? What is the increment? And what is the iteration? Here to here, what is the increment? What is the iteration? So here there is no color, but he added the color. This is the increment. Okay. This is the iteration basically. Okay. From here to here, based on the feedback, he had changed the color of gown. Okay. Change the skin tone color. So iterative, but increment is not there. So it is here, still here. In this, further increment is happening. So iteration and increment is happening together. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Paras.
Yes, Paras.
Yes.
Yes.
And we will come to that, how Scrum is using all this concept, how Scrum is overcoming, how Agile is overcome with the concept challenges with the SDLC, how Scrum is more suitable for the knowledge work, how Scrum is combining the incremental and iterative concept. We will talk about this maybe tomorrow. This is something which may not be important for many of you because you may not be dealing with this, but I thought it is also important so that you know this concept, and I will quickly try to cover it. If needed, we will revisit this particular aspect maybe in day 3. But in my view, this is also important concept. Have you anybody know about the traditional iron triangle? Traditionally, when you build a house or build any product, you know the scope. I need a 3 BHK house. I need, this is my plot size, 60 by 30 by 60. This is my house. I need 3 bathroom, 3 bedroom, 1 drawing room, 1 kitchen, 1 car parking. This is my scope. And then what you do, then you figure it out, what is the cost I need and how much time I need. How, if I only have 3 months, I need to put more and more labor. If I have 6 months, I need to put less labor. So based on your scope of work, you figure it out, cost and schedule. And that is how most of the IT project, most of the software product were executed in until 2004, 2005, or 2000, until 2000, because you know this is my scope. You remember cost. This what is your scope, and based on the scope, I will tell you the time and cost. So that's the basic. Forget about the IT if you are not in that era. Even today, somebody tell you, I need to buy a dress. Okay, so dress is your scope. Okay, I need to buy a dress. For what? I need to attend a wedding. Okay, that is my scope. Okay, then you go to a tailor and say, okay, I need this dress in 7 days. Your tailor says, or your boutique artist says, okay, I don't have time, but if you need in 7 days, I will charge you premium. Then you talk about, okay, what is the kind of fabric you are going to use? That is decide the cost. That's how things works or not? Yes, no.
Yes.
Yes, Paras.
Yes,
So what is
Paras.
your
Yes.
constraint? Your
Yes.
constraint is scope. Your constraint is scope, and you are going to talk about the cost and schedule. Okay, this is the traditional approach, but agile triangle has changed. In agile environment, everything is changed. What we are doing here, the constraint is your cost and schedule. Okay, what you are saying, I only have $2,000 and I need to have a this dress in 7 days. Okay, within 2007 days, what is the best I can get? I will wear that and attend the wedding. My constraint are my cost and schedule. And I need to get the best value. What is the problem here? If you decide that I need this scope, then your variable are cost and schedule. And anything fall down, your scope may not complete and your project will get failed. For example, if you decide, okay, I need to wear a dress and the costing coming 5,000 and schedule is coming 8 day, and you are bringing the schedule down and the costing goes to 7,000, but you do not have the money, or you fail to achieve the cost, figure out the cost, then your project, you will not able to get the dress before the wedding, okay, or before the party. So a project, the chances of failure of project more and more. And as per the PMP, a PMI, if you talk about this scope, cost, and schedule, 75, more than 79% projects are failing. All the road project, all the bridge project, all the civil engineering project, they are cost overrun, schedule overrun. Okay, they are cost overrun, schedule overrun. If your project is cost overrun, schedule overrun, your project is failed. While here, what we are talking about, I am fixing my cost. I have $2,000. I have 7 days. I will figure out what is the best I can get. I will do that. And that's what we are doing in Agile. You have a sprint of 2 weeks. You have 8 people developer. Decide what you can do, deliver in 2 weeks. Sprint planning, what you plan? 8 people, 8-member team, 2 weeks. How much you can deliver? how many features you can deliver. So Agile actually changed the complete. This is waterfall. Constraint is scope. This is variable. Agile cost and schedule is the constraint, and feature or whatever your delivery, that is basically your a variable. I'm sure that some of you may not understand. If needed, we can I can take some questions because I see the time is running away. But yeah, go ahead if there are any questions. This is understood somehow. It's some bells ring in your mind or not?
No, Paras.
Understood.
Yes, Paras.
Okay, we will end with this particular today's session, some of the myths and realities, and tomorrow we'll talk about detail in Scrum. Okay. There is a great myth, Agile is undisciplined, which is wrong. Agile is a very disciplined approach. Okay. It talks about time box, 2 weeks. It talks about the costing. It talks about cost, what is our time, and resources is the cost. So this is a very disciplined, it's not undisciplined. No documentation. No, Agile doesn't say no document. It says bare minimum documentation. That's why Praveen keeps saying document in DocSpace, document in DocSpace. He's not asking create a very lengthy document. Nobody's asking you create. Use DocSpace, use TrackSpace, bare minimum document so that you know the trails. Okay, which adds value. No documentation is not the excuse which you need to use because you are working in Agile. Free ticket to change requirement. Many clients say you are working in Agile, I can change the requirement anytime. No, no, no. You prioritize the requirement. If there is a change, come to next sprint. Prioritization is the key. Okay, if you are not sure about the requirement today, if you are in the middle of a sprint, your requirement is changing, I will drop the story. I will pick the next story in next sprint. Okay. Doesn't scale. Many think Agile is this is for a small team. No. You can talk to Raju. I guess he's expert in safe. There are many scale Agile approach. They divide and conquer. You have the RTs, you have the portfolios, large scale Agile, large scale Scrum, Safe, Spotify. There are many scale Agile framework are available. Many people say Agile is only Scrum or XP. No, there are many approaches. We will talk about the Agile umbrella tomorrow. We will talk about what is the uh, Agile is more of a culture and mindset. It is not that Scrum is Agile. You can use Scrum, Kanban, XP, anything to be Agile. Okay, so it's more about your mindset, how you take the things upfront. I guess that's it for today's session. Questions.
All good, no question, Paras.
It was very useful
No.
session, Paras. If you can also share this PDF, Paras, if
Yeah, I
possible,
will share this
with the team.
PDF,
Yeah.
this group, yes, everyone, and we will place this recording. And this session, I know many of you say this is nothing is going to use in your day-to-day life, but I hope this will help you to understand the concept tomorrow in much better way, and you are able to speak more confidently why Agile is there, why Agile is needed. So I took that approach. But if there are any question, I'm more than welcome. We still have 1 minute.
Paras, I have only one question, Paras.
Go ahead.
In that iterative, we have to find the best method to reach our goals. That is the correct?
Iterative, we need to find, you need to iterate your process until customer is satisfied. Okay.
Okay, for
Or
customer satisfaction. Yeah. Tell me, Paras.
yeah, customer is satisfied. So basically, if for example, forget about the customer, if you are building, you are doing an interior of your house, okay,
Okay.
and you want to place your photo framework of your family in some place on your wall, okay, you place it one place and you say, no, this is not working. You place it another place. No, this is not working. You place third place. So you keep placing that above the TV, behind the TV, beside the TV, above the sofa set, above the dining table, until unless you are satisfied. Yeah, this is the right place for my uh, photo frame, family photo. So this is the iterative approach that you are not sure that where I need to put my photo frame or collage in this hall. This is the iterative approach. Now increment approach that you have 7 photographs. Okay, you add one and then you are starting adding the second one. Okay, so if you the challenge is that, okay, if you only follow the iterative approach, you follow the iterative approach with one photograph, and you decide above the dining table, this photograph looks very good. And then you start incrementing there. What is the challenge? Maybe all 7 together are not looking good.
Okay.
So that's why Agile says iterative and increment. Okay, you place at one place, couple of photographs, see they are looking good. If they are not, then iterate
Then
the
we have to
process and
change.
increment. So rather than you
Okay.
first 7 rounds of iteration and then 7 rounds of incremental, you do it together. That's how you need to deal with it. That's what Agile says. Do not increment and Agile. Agile combines increment and Agile. That's the meaning of incremental and iterative process.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions? Mayuri, Sujata, Monica, Mayures, Raju, Durgesh, anything?
Nothing.
Okay, if
Nothing
not,
Raju.
No,
then
Paras.
I
No,
hope
Paras.
Yeah.
I hope this
No,
is
Paras.
I hope this is a meaningful session. Okay. I will see you
Yes,
tomorrow again, and we will have another round. Tomorrow we'll more.